morning, church. Good morning. Hello, hello. My name is Javon Haskin. I am your music director. My pronouns are she and her. And we this morning are joined by our MDUUC house band. Can everybody say hello, house band? We figured that with it being so gloomy outside that we would bring a lot of joy and light into this service today. It kind of worked out for us. So please rise in body and spirit as we sing this hymn by Baptist minister Robert Lowry, which was very popular amongst our abolitionist Quakers. We are going to sing My Life Flows On in endless song.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Rodney, and my pronouns are he and him. For the next hour and a half or so, I'm going to invite us into the spirit of pure imagination. This is the time where we come together to co-create the world that we hope to live in. Our time together here is sacred and important as we practice the values that matter most to us, so that we are ready to live them out loud in the wider world. So for those of you visiting us this morning, welcome. We're really glad that you chose to share part of your week with us, whether you're here in the sanctuary, in Borton Hall if you needed a little more space, or on our live stream. And welcome back if you are returning to campus after a bit of a hiatus. For those of you who are joining us online, please stay for our virtual coffee hour, which will be held 15 minutes after the service, for 15 minutes after the service, just so you can say hello to the people that hopefully you've been chatting with on the YouTube chat. And if you are visiting, we hope that you'll sign a visitor's card either virtually, online, or at our welcoming table after the service. We are a busy congregation, so here are a few ways to stay connected to our community and to each other. So first, if you are in need of a listening ear, we will have pastoral visitors here on campus. You'll see them near the water column during the offertory, and that will help you identify them. We are also happy to announce the start of our spring community circles, I think I got that right, which are returning, and they are wonderful and easy ways to connect yourself to others in this community. They are really just small groups of people who meet to listen and learn from one another. And if you're interested, there's a sign-up table in Borton Hall after today's service where you can register. Also today after the service, we are having a special Justice Sunday as we honor the work of one of our very own members who is no longer with us in this world, but whose legacy definitely lives on. Please join us for some Sunday tea sandwiches and other delicious items as we dedicate our community shower program to our beloved member, Mary Fenelon. Next Sunday is a very special Commitment Sunday, and we need your help to make it happen. It's really all of our chance to honor our own heritage. Please let Reverend Leslie or read the email that has been sent out to find out how you can help honor the heritage in a very embodied way. You can bake recipes from the 1970s cookbook. I know, right? It sounds fun. If you like cooking or you just helped with winter nights, I know who some of you are, you should volunteer to cook one of the recipes. Also, please mark your calendar for Breath and Spirit. It's the first Saturday in May. Breath and Spirit is our quarterly half-day retreat. It's a reset where you can calm your spirit and consider new practices for grounding yourself during these tumultuous times. And if you haven't been a part, you really should come and try it. It's a lovely, lovely way to recenter yourself. And finally, welcome to this, our beloved community.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Mary Kelly Persine. I'm a member of your Board of Trustees. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome to our service. We begin our services by reading our mission. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. I'm going to try taking my glasses off because the problem is if they're on, I can see the words really well, but I can't see you. So I'm going to give this a whirl. Bear with me. Thanks for being with us today, and thanks to all who have been helping out with all we do here. If you are visiting, please let us know who you are and what you're interested in at the table in the Borton Hall after services or through our visitors form on the website. And that will let us tell you all the ways that we are putting our values into action. On the first Sunday of the month, we welcome people into membership after the service. If you are ready to make this commitment, please speak to me, another board member, or one of our ministers. Today is the 5th Sunday of our 10 weeks of commitment. Thanks to everyone who has already stepped up to pledge so we can begin to construct our budget, which is a moral document. P.S. And next week is a very special Commitment Sunday, the day when we ask everyone to consider what the community means to you. This year, it is also the celebration of MDUUC's 75th anniversary. We will be starting our gathering at 10 a.m. with refreshments and then have our service and a special history tour. Always wonder why our buildings are named what they are, wondering what inspired people to commit to this place over the years, interested in knowing about the justice history of this congregation, wondering about the memorial and legacy. I hear a vote from one of our young members. I heard that. There's a tour of the redwood trees, too. Wondering about the memorial and legacy spaces on this campus. Please come and be a part of honoring the amazing legacy of this community that we love. And welcome. It's good to be together.
Today we are going to honor the act of deep listening to one another. So in that spirit, let us greet one another with "I see you, I hear you, and I'm glad you're here."
I'm so glad to be here. We can go next. Of course, you can go next. All right. I'm going to start looking, watch the stage, because they're going to pull the bowl briefly. Briefly. Lots on there. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
There will be no community time for you to go to the potty. No potty for you. Oh, sorry.
Dona nobis pacem pacem, dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem.
And please join me in our words for lighting the chalice. We light this chalice to remind ourselves to treat all people kindly, to take good care of the earth, to live lives full of goodness and love, and to be the best people we can be.
Oh, okay. Oh, it works. All right. I'm not used to the lab, y'all. Sorry. All right, I'd like to invite those of you who are young or young at heart. We're going to play a little game, if that helps you come forward. I will need more than 2 people, so. So today is about listening, and I thought we could play the game telephone. How many people have played it? And yet there's only 5 people up here. There we go, 6. Some good old guilt. All right, I'm kidding. All right, so you know how to play telephone? We're all gonna line up in a straight line. I'm gonna whisper something in the first person's ear. Ron, that's gonna be you. And then we're gonna pass it down. Now we're gonna do this twice. The first time we're gonna do it regular. And then the second time we're gonna do it in a special way. And maybe it will help, and maybe it won't. We'll learn together. All right, so let's stand, rise up, and just do a straight line so that you're in a line back to back of one another. I know, me too. Here, let me help you. There you go. All right. And now I'll whisper this, maybe. Okay. No. Wait, what is that? Is that a different rule?
You say operator, and it means the person that's
That's the next time. That's a great one.
So I'm going to get the ball.
Listening is what? Oh, sorry, I violated my own rule. Listening is really good with a big, full heart. The actual phrase was listening is a gift you give with your whole heart. That's pretty close, but not, yeah. But now we're going to do it a little differently. So I'll come back down to Ron, and this time, I just learned a new rule, but it's going to help us. We're trying to do active listening. So, sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes when you were talking to me, I just floated off in space and didn't really hear you, which is why I violated the rule. It happens, right? But that's not active listening. So now I'll come down here, we'll do it again, but this time you are allowed to, what was the phrase? You are allowed to tell the person one time, operator, and they can repeat the phrase to you. But this time, try and listen with your whole spirit.
It's not the same one.
It is not the same one. When someone's cup is empty, love. The answer was when someone's cup is empty, love fills it up. What did you say?
Oh, you're going to blame me.
Oh, all right, it was me. The someone and the it flipped. But other than that, it was much closer than the first one. So yay. So I'm hoping what this will show to us is when we listen with our whole heart and spirit, we can maybe hear some things we didn't hear before. And if that's not true now, maybe it will be after the message. Or not. And now I invite us to sing out our youth as they go to their classes.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your hearts know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
My name is Emily. Pronouns are she and her, and I've been asked why a non-member commit to MDUUC. So, I remember the first time I came to MDUUC. It was the first Sunday after Trump was elected for the second time, and I was scared. I was scared for my community, for my country, for the world, and honestly, for my job. I came looking for two main things: a community that I could become a part of, and a place that already had existing opportunities to get involved to make the world a better place. I don't remember the first sermon, or the second, or the third. Sorry, guys. But I do remember texting my friends from work and saying, the people here are like freakishly welcoming. They wear name tags, it's odd, but cool. And they're praying for us, which is something as an IRS employee you're not used to hearing. All right, so in the year-ish since I first came, I've continued to find those two things: community and social justice. Be it dancing in the back with a 3-year-old during service, or at the community dinners, usually with my dog, talking to people and learning from people, or sharing a winter cabin with 13 zillennials and 2 dogs, or attending the immigration court vigils, or learning from the mosaic classes, or any of the thousands of opportunities that MDUUC has to offer. All of this helps me all of this helps keep me balanced in a time of great turbulence. In short, the reasons I continue to commit to MDUUC is because my soul feels fuller when I'm a part of this special and sacred community that works to heal ourselves and our world. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Casey Gardner. My pronouns are she and her, and they and them. So I spent my spring break in Idaho. And I know you might be thinking, why? Well, here's the story. So a friend of mine grew up in northern Idaho, specifically Wallace, Idaho, which I'd be surprised if any of you have heard of. Cool. So she had a pretty tumultuous childhood. Strictly religious parents who were not what you would really consider loving. Both suffered from addiction and likely untreated mental illness. Her childhood was one of fear, loneliness, and neglect. And in her later life, she became estranged from that family. After her mother passed from COVID in 2020, she was the only person left to clean up her mother's things. So she sent out this past week to do exactly that. And with her husband out of town, I offered to join for what she coined as her trauma dump trip. Now, this was not the vacation most dream of. And upon arriving at the Spokane airport, I felt like I had touched down in a different world. Everyone either had a blonde dye job, a camouflage accessory, a sports logo, or some combination of the three. There were very few people of color. I was definitely not in California anymore, and my assumption was that this trip was going to be a cultural doozy. Then, when we arrived in Coeur d'Alene, my friend dropped a bomb. She wanted to go find her dad, who she hadn't spoken to in almost 20 years. Apparently, according to White Pages, he only lived about a mile away from our Airbnb, and while I was skeptical, I was here to support, not judge, and she wanted closure, regardless of what that looked like. So that morning, I found myself waiting in a rental car outside of a mobile home while my friend walked up to the house of a man who she had only described ever as someone to be feared. And this was a paranoid, religious, conservative, disciplinarian addict in a mostly rural state where 70% of voters cast their ballot for Donald Trump. And I watched as an old man cracked open the door, stared quizzically at her for a few moments, and then walked out onto the porch and embraced her. At this point, I came clambering out of the car to join them. And over the next 2 hours, I learned the story of a man who spent a good majority of his life in pain, in shame, and in fear. A man who felt remorse about his role as a father, who was essentially abandoned by his own, and who turned to substances to cope with what he is only now in his 60s acquiring the tools to name. This is a man who holds tight to his faith. As he said, it, quote, keeps him on the straight and narrow, and helped him cope with the pain in his body and his mind as the result of decades of manual labor. He spends most of his time reading, watching DVDs, and gardening. But what I was most surprised to find was that despite identifying as a lifelong Republican, he had some of the most left-leaning politics I could have imagined. He was funny, too. At one point, he called Trump the Antichrist, told us how much he had loved all of the protests recently, especially the costumes. And in regards to abortion, he said, if you don't want one, just don't get one. He spent most of that time talking about science, old movies, his own past. But the most important part to me was when he hugged his daughter again and told her through tears, I'm proud of you, and I'm sorry. And I saw in her something I had never seen her express regarding her childhood: forgiveness, empathy, and acceptance. Before we left, they took a photo together, exchanged phone numbers, and agreed to keep in touch. And finally, she gave him another hug and said, I love you, Dad. And he replied, I love you too. In her now well-known TED Talk, The Danger of a Single Story, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie explains why we create a singular view of others. When she says, show a people as one thing, as only one thing, over and over again, and that is what they become. My friend had a single story of her father, just like I had a single story of Idaho, and like her father maybe had a single story of what type of relationship he deserved to have with his child in the eyes of his God. People are so complex, but sometimes hearing their stories is what makes us feel closer than we previously believed possible. It can turn strangers into friends, monsters into family, fear into grace, or the past into something different, maybe something better. Now, I'm not saying you should spend your next spring break in Idaho, though it does have some beautiful nature some very kind people, and surprisingly good food. And I'm not saying you should immediately go reconnect with your estranged relatives, especially if there is safety or a needed peace in maintaining that boundary. But today, I'm going to challenge you to choose to listen to the kind of story you think you might already be able to predict the end of. Because maybe it will surprise you, and maybe it will build a bridge that wasn't there before, and maybe it will change you too. So come, let us keep our minds and hearts open to that kind of story together.
MDUUC Kessler is a UU musician and composer writing at the intersection of progressive religion, sociology, ethics, and social justice. She writes in support our human flourishing and to ease human suffering. We have a new congregational song we're going to sing today, so please rise in body or in spirit as we sing Rooted in Fertile Ground.
This is the time in our service when we take into the larger heart of our community those joys and sorrows that are too great to hold alone. And I'm going to invite Reverend Rodney to... No problem.
I was getting ready for the prayer.
I know.
So sorry.
It's all the same. It's all part of the prayer. It's all part of the prayer, so that's great. So I invite those who have written in our book of joys and sorrows to come forward at this time. And I'm going to ask Reverend Rodney to light the first candle for all of the people in this community that reached out to one another in the beginning of last week when we were all in so much fear and concern about the leadership of our nation and its effect on the world. And so I just want to honor this community for its embrace of one another in these times. Wes Fanhani is lighting a candle this morning, asking for prayers for his sister who's undergoing surgery next week. And I'm asking Reverend Rodney to light a candle as well for the family of our member Barbara Segru, who we lost to death last week, And we have set a date for her service on the second week of June, and I know the family will appreciate any assistance. Anyone who would like to help with that service, please be in touch with me. We're sending them great love as they adjust. And David Stanley is lighting a candle. He writes, "For the Artemis crew, for reminding us what decent Americans are." And Kevin Shea is lighting a candle. He writes, "A very happy belated birthday wish to my beautiful wife, Heather, who just turned the big 5-0. Yeah. And I asked Reverend Rodney to light a candle as well for Travis McPhee and his wife, Jenny, who have just on March 21st welcomed their child, Arlo, into the world. And we will make sure that name is out there so you can write some pizza. So this is Arlo. And asked Reverend Rodney to light 2 final candles, one to hold those joys and sorrows that are not expressed in words, but which are with us today, and the final one for our continuing and persistent hopes and wishes for our world and for our nation. Thank you.
Our meditative song today was intended to help congregants listen to and honor their own feelings, whether they're difficult feelings or joyous ones. Please remain seated as we sing Be Still and Breathe.
Be still and breathe. Be still and breathe. Listen to heartache. Listen to grief. Be still and breathe. Be still and breathe. Listen to gladness. Listen to joy. Be still and breathe. Be still and breathe. Listen to anger. Listen to hurt. Be still and breathe. Be still and breathe. Listen to beauty. Listen to grace. Be still and breathe. Be still and breathe. Listen to you. Listen to me. Be still and breathe. 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 Be still and breathe.
So I invite us, as we prepare for our time of the deep ask of prayer, to just take a moment and let's just shake out this week, because it's been a week in the world, my friends. Let's just shake it out. We might have to just stay here shaking for a few minutes. For some of us, breath is that entry place in, and for others of us, it's just opening, closing our hands, stretching, breathing, shaking, whatever it is. Let's be present. And we're grateful in our tradition that as we are invited to summon what we feel to be holy and sacred, we do not feel that to be outside of ourselves. We believe our own bodies and our own beings to be part of that. So whatever name you give to that, which you are a part of that co-creating energy and force to move us towards good, I ask you to invite you to summon that now, whether you call it spirit or God, whether you call it Gaia or community whatever you call it. Let's bring that energy into this room today. And we'll begin with gratitude. Gratitude for this tradition, which reminds us that each of us holds a little piece of the truth, and that the beauty of creation is found when we can hear one another into a larger truth together. Gratitude for that little piece of wisdom within each of us, which in times of struggle can serve as an inner compass, pointing us back to ways of peace and connection and unity, and away from ways of division that do not allow that co-creation, which is part of our tradition. So as we enter into this time, our prayer to the holy and sacred, we ask for the wisdom of that discernment, for a chance to remind ourselves that we can make choices to listen, to connect, to use our own lives as sources of wisdom in the times when any gift of wisdom is a tremendous balm. Let us take a moment to just reflect and be grateful for one thing that we know within ourselves that has been a guide for us, that perhaps we have lost track of in all the tumult of these times. Listen to your own heart, to your own knowledge, to your own beauty. And let us also in this time be grateful for those who have given us their gifts, who have spoken their truths to us, some of which we wanted to hear and some of which we did not. But let us hold them also in our hearts, knowing that it is in our interaction with one another, that creative interchange, that we can be birthed into new hope. Let us be grateful for that, and also our deep ask today is that we can hear one another and listen sometimes to that which is harder for us to hear, that which is provocative, that which troubles our waters. Let us honor our own gifts. Let us prepare them to be ready to receive the gifts of others. And let us always, always be open to the possibility that among us we will find new ways. This is our prayer. Amen.
Each month, Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church shares a portion of our Sunday offering with an organization doing meaningful work in the world around us. This month, we are honored to share our plate with the UU Ministry of the Earth. In their many curricula and resources available for free online, they have shared with us the following quote from author and religious naturalist Ursula Goodenough. I hold a rock in my hand, and I resonate with its heft and its patterns. I try to imagine its broiling history within the Earth's interior. I rejoice in our cohabitation within the planetary matrix. I absorb the understanding that our atoms all came from the same stars. and that some of my atoms will come to inhabit rocks, and that some of its atoms will come to inhabit life forms. MDUU Ministry for the Earth is a seedbed for spiritual grounding and education, inspiring practices of earth care, justice, and flourishing for all, rooted in our UU values of shared love, interdependence, and justice. They affirm that how we care for this earth is a moral and spiritual calling. To give in the sanctuary today, please write "Share the Plate" on your envelope and place it in the offertory basket as it passes. To give online, visit MDUUC.org and click the Donate Now button and select Share the Plate from the drop-down. Thank you for your generosity.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricia Craven. I am a member of your Board of Trustees. My pronoun is she and hers. Welcome. This morning, we will be speaking and hearing about the growth that comes in allowing ourselves to connect, engage, and be impacted by someone, something, or some idea that may be new to us. That is the gift of this community, the belief and encouragement to go outside of ourselves and enter into a different world that is sometimes not easy and often not comfortable for us. For MDUUC to carry out our commitment to this deep listening, we need the resources to cover such things as buildings, music, and of course the staff, so that we may go out and practice our faith and values and have them continue. Therefore, you can make a donation online, either if you're online or even here, by clicking the Give Now button on the MDUUU website at any time. Or if you are here in person, you can put them in the passing baskets. Will the ushers please come forward to take the collection? Thank you. Okay. Now, let us dedicate our offerings with the words on the screen. To the work of this community and transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings. Thank you.
You can hear me? Driving the highway of shadow and doubt. It's a desperate, desolate, long stretch of road. That hole in your pocket, let your dreams run out. And left you with nothing to hold. If your well has run dry, if it needs some filling, know that I'm able and willing. When it feels like you have no more tears left to cry, I'll fill you up if your well has run dry. I'll fill you up if your well has run dry. So many promises, so many lies. So many people, but not enough ties. And all that they left you was empty and cold. Left you with no one to hold. If your well has run dry, if it needs some filling, know that I'm able and willing. When it feels like you have no more tears left to cry, I'll fill you up if your well has run dry.
So before I begin this morning's reflection, I just want to make a note that it does include stories from my time as a jail chaplain. That means I'm going to touch on things like incarceration, and in this particular story, loss of a child and harm. So if at any point you need to step out or walk away from your screen if you're online with us, please do so freely and without any kind of apology. So now I would like to tell you about the worst plastic chair I've ever sat in. It's separate from that time that I flattened one of those white, flimsy garden lawn chairs. That is a story for another day. And if you don't know the kind of chair I'm talking about, ask your fat friend, because we all know the chair that I'm talking about. And if you don't have any fat friends, then I'm so sorry, because we are delightful. This chair was a different beast entirely. It was hard, unyielding plastic anchored into the concrete of the Solano County Jail exercise yard. And across from me sat a woman in the same kind of chair. She had just been pulled out of her Bible study class for this conversation, and I could see that she had been crying, though she was really trying her best to, quote, hold it together. We sat in the open space, always in the line sight of a correctional officer. This was the rule that we had to follow. Now, I was brand new to the chaplaincy position, still fumbling my way through seminary, and my supervisor had just introduced us before stepping back and leaving me there alone, heart pounding with her. I'd been doing this work for all of about 5 minutes, and I had been almost told nothing about this woman except for one thing. Her 15-month-old baby was on life support, and the machines were being turned off tomorrow. My supervisor's instructions were simple: just listen. Now, let me be clear with you about what just listen looked like from the inside of my mind and soul. It was nothing like the calm, wise, non-anxious presence that my pastoral care books taught me in seminary. It was just me sitting there, sweating bullets. I kept wondering if my face was doing the right thing. That's a problem I often have. Was I looking concerned enough? Was I overdoing it? Was my nodding too much? She mentioned needing to make a phone call just now. Should I schedule that for her? She paused. Oh my God, the silence feels like it might swallow both of us whole. Should I say something? Should I just let it be? I kept drifting between actually hearing her and wanting desperately to fix something and worrying that I was failing at all of it. I have a feeling that some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe not from a jail cell perspective, perhaps a hospital room, or sitting on the edge of a loved one's bed, or picking up the phone in the middle of the night, places where someone needed you to listen. And the whole time, you're just panicking. Am I doing this right? Am I helping at all? Is this even meaningful if I'm not doing some kind of direct intervention to impact or help them? I think we get so tangled up in trying to look compassionate or fix things that we almost really miss the raw moments of connection that are right in front of us. Priscilla, as I will call her for this story, told me that she had been reading her Bible constantly. She had read the entire book of Matthew. She talked about discovering comfort in the Word and quoted Proverbs. She was doing theology in real time, sitting on that awkward, hard plastic chair. No seminary degree, no credentials. She started telling me about her sisters, to which I got confused because I was pretty certain she didn't have siblings in jail. And then it hit me, oh, she wasn't talking about blood relatives. She meant the other women on her cell block. I was amazed. In a place built to break down connections, she had built a family. She spoke to me about reading the book of John to her bunkmate and praying over her at night. She was ministering in her own way and with whatever she had left to give. I adjusted myself in that ridiculous chair. She said something that stayed with me now for almost a decade. She said, "I wish I knew wisdom before now. I would have made other decisions." Now, on the surface, that may sound like regret to you, but underneath there's something else. This is a person reaching for the idea that wisdom had always been there, that salvation may still be possible, even in the coldest corner of a prison cell. Even after every heartbreak and every mistake she made. Priscilla may have called that grace. We might call it transformation, as you use. Either way, I believe it's the same kind of hope. A hope for change and growth. A hope that we are not forever defined by the worst thing that we've done or the hardest day we've ever had. Sitting across from her, hearing those words, something shifted inside of me. Not some big movie-worthy transformation, just a door creaking open, a sliver of new light. I had walked into that yard thinking that I was there to offer something, comfort, presence, maybe a prayer. But slowly I began to realize that I was the one being given a gift. She was showing me what faith looks like when it's got nothing to lean on but itself. I think this is what deep listening actually does for us. It's actually not a passive act at all. Recent research in social psychology confirms what many of our contemplative traditions have attested for centuries, that when people genuinely listen to one another, they are both deeply changed. This ancient-held belief can be seen in the recent study of Guy Ichotskov and Netta Weinstein in a 2024 study that was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. They found that high-quality listening, the kind that involves real attention, genuine effort to understand one another, and an absence of judgment, can create what they call positive resonance between those people. In their study, speakers felt increasingly connected to their listeners. Ultimately, they became less polarized in their views. Another person, Stephen Menedian, the director of research at UC Berkeley's Othering and Belonging Institute, I think puts it even more directly. Once people feel heard, they are more likely to trust, and trust is how you build community. So I would like to invite you all to try something right now in this room and online. I'm going to invite you to turn to the person sitting next to you, and if you're on the end of a row, turn to someone nearby. And if you're sitting alone or don't want to do this, or you're joining us virtually, that is okay too. All of you can take this moment to center yourself and think about a time where you were listened to in a way that made you feel validated and heard. So for those who don't want to participate or are joining us virtually, please do that. For the rest of you engaged in this activity, here is what I'm asking. One of you will speak, the other is going to listen. But the listener will not say a single word. No responses, no comments, no opinions. I just want you to listen, with no performance at all. Just your whole spirit turned toward another person. So I'm going to give you a minute to find your person. Decide who amongst you will speak first. And for the speaker, I'm going to give you a prompt. You're going to have about a minute. Here is your prompt. Please tell your neighbor about a time that you experienced pure joy, whatever that means to you. A time you experienced pure joy. Switch, please. Same prompt, new listener, new speaker. So now switch roles. Again, tell your neighbor the time you experienced pure joy. Okay, I invite you to come back to the room. I'm going to invite us just to take a centering breath together. And I'm just going to invite you to notice what happened there. You didn't fix anything. I know that. There wasn't enough time. I hope you didn't offer advice. That was not the point. I don't think you put on any kind of show of listening. What was happening there is that you just showed up. And I don't know if you felt it, but something did shift in the room a little for me. Like people became a little more engaged. I could hear the rumblings of the storytelling that you were telling one another. There's something special about being heard, just being listened to. And that's what happened in those hard plastic chairs for me. After our visit ended, after Priscilla asked me to pray for her and her sons, after I blundered through a prayer so nervously that I forgot her name, after we said goodbye, my supervisor pulled me aside and told me the rest of the story. Priscilla was in jail on suspicion of child abuse. The baby on life support, her 15-month-old, had injuries in various stages of healing. a pattern of repeated abuse. She would likely be charged with murder and moved to a maximum security prison. Now, I know this changes the story that maybe you've been building up in your mind about Priscilla. It changed my mind and mental reflection on her as well. But for me, there's a much more important question at the heart of all of this. Did Priscilla deserve to be heard? I'm not asking you to excuse the harm that she may have inflicted. I'm not asking any of us to turn away from what had happened to that baby. I'm asking you for something much, much harder. Can you hold both truths at once? The reality that she may have harmed that innocent life, and the reality, too, that she needed healing. Can you feel the discomfort of that chair now? Real generosity of spirit asks us not only to be generous to those who are easy to love, but to those who mess up our special categories. The ones whose stories don't fit neatly into us and them. The ones who make us ask, whose story is this really? I believe our country is in a spiritual, not just political crisis right now, and that every time we refuse to listen, we draw a line between ourselves and someone else, saying, your story isn't mine to carry. However, every time we do listen, and I mean really listen, we're saying something a little braver. We're saying your story might change me. Something happened in that exercise yard that I can only call holy. Not because I said the right thing, I did not. Not because I had the right training, I clearly did not. Not because I kept my face in the right expression. I already told you I have a problem with that. But something holy happened because I showed up, because I sat down, because for 10 minutes I gave this woman the rarest gift that we can offer one another. I was there and I listened. I simply listened. So when was the last time you let someone else's story actually change you? Not simply confirm what you already believe or deepen your compassion for people you already love, but rather, when did you sit with someone whose story unsettled you and let it move something inside you? May we all be brave enough to experience this. May we be generous enough to let ourselves be changed. And when someone else's well has run dry, when it feels like there are no more tears left, may we show up with whatever we have and say, I am here, I can feel you. Even if that means sitting together on the world's most uncomfortable plastic chairs.
Self-taught multi-instrumentalist and singer-songwriter Valerie June wrote this song as a radical, intentional choice to cultivate joy as a superpower and a tool for resilience amidst life's inevitable hardships, darkness, and systemic issues. Now, you might be listening right now and realize this song is also an invitation for an embodied practice of listening, okay? So please feel free to move and groove along with this band and this rock and bass line. So please rise in body and spirit, and we will sing the verses, and we'll invite you to join us on the chorus, okay? There is a light you can see that is wanting to be free, a hidden light deep inside. Learn to trust your spirit guide. There is a light you can find if you stop to take the time, knowing it's right. Rise and shine, the seas will part, the stars will line. You'll find that joy, joy in your soul. You'll find that joy, joy in your soul. Find that joy. joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that. And when you feel you're not enough, has this old world been hard and rough? A golden seed beneath dark soil to seek the sun is often rough. And when you'll flower, no, not the hour, and ever-present superpower, and effervescence from below, no one can tell, just trust and grow. You'll find that joy, joy in your soul. Hey, you'll find that joy, joy in your soul. You'll find that joy, joy in your soul. You'll find that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy. Dance break. There was a day not long ago when I thought I lost my glow, 'cause looking out at everything, 'twas on a tightrope balancing. The wind, it came and knocked me off, and then I fell into your stream. The waves reflect my inner grow. I found that joy, joy in my soul. I found that joy, joy in my soul. Hey, I found that joy, joy in my soul. I found that joy, joy in my soul. I found that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy. One more time. I found that joy, joy in my soul. Ha, ha, ha. I found that joy, joy in my soul. I found that joy, joy in my soul. I found that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy, that joy.
All right, you can move some of this up. So, as we extinguish the flame of our religious tradition, may its light be transferred to our hearts so that we can live out our values in the rest of the world. Maybe go find some uncomfortable chairs until we meet again.